I'm reading about rioters and violent criminals burning down buildings and vandalizing buildings and terrorizing communities like Portland and Seattle. They're not going to face any prosecution either. They're Black Lives Matter activists. They're Black Lives Matter. They're protesters, Dov. They're not looters or committing act. They're protesters, don't you know?
Things are out of control, and
Absolutely.
all of this is extremely dangerous. Serious repercussions if we permit this to continue. And Mike, I believe that the people indulging in all of this, the Black Lives Matter, others, it's really a minority, but a very vocal minority. And I think they used to call it the silent majority. I think the rest of us need to stand up and speak out and not permit this to continue to happen. Look what's happening to New York. Crime is out of control. We're going back to the numbers. We're moving towards those numbers. You remember David Dinkins, when people, were fleeing the city of New York, the state of New York? Well, that's happening again right now. People's lives are being destroyed. It's a disaster. And unfortunately, with these incidents in the Bronx that just happened, after this person was permitted back into the streets, how many politicians spoke out? How many Democratic politicians stood up and said, this is wrong. This is not acceptable. We need to do something about this. And Mike, yesterday, the governor of the state of New York, formerly King Cuomo, he was the king, not anymore. He was asked about this, how he felt about this person being permitted out. Can you believe that Cuomo said, I'm not that familiar with this case. I got to check into it. Can you believe that?
Wow. Well, but you have reminded me over the years about how anti-Semitism gets a little bit of a different look from a lot of politicians, certainly from the media, the mainstream media. We after George Floyd's death, we have had a robust, contentious conversation about race in America. And yet I've seen all these video clips of members of the Jewish community assaulted on the streets of New York, just randomly attacked. Asian Americans are experiencing this kind of violence as well. And it's just so remarkable to me. Did we learn nothing from the Holocaust, from the treatment of the Jews, in our lack of humanity, the hatred, the bigotry? And it's like, for some reason, Dov Hikind, anti-Semitism seems to get a pass.
Look, it's something that I've said again and again. Anti-Semitism is not treated the same way that hatred towards the Black community and other communities is treated.
Why is that? Why?
Well,
why?
Mike, I wish I had a simple answer. I don't understand it. I don't get it. Well, it's probably because we're so powerful. It's probably because, we control everything. We control
everything. You run the banks, though, the entertainment. Yeah, you're in charge of everything. Yeah.
We don't need any help. We're okay. Even when Jews
which by the way, which ironically is anti-Semitism on top of anti-Semitism. I mean, it's like layers of bigotry and hatred and stereotyping. Dov, I get this sense, as outrageous as this case is, that there is a big awakening that's occurring, that there is a pushback to this kind of injustice. Do you feel that as well in New York, or is this a lost cause?
Can I tell you, I'm not sure. Look, we've had Bill de Blasio as mayor. He's been pretty much of a disaster. Who's coming next? Are we going to have someone even more to the left than de Blasio, if that's possible? What's the future of New York?